It's 2:13 in the morning, and you wake up because something is pressing against your legs. Not beside you, on you. Your dog has an entire bed available, yet somehow they've chosen your chest, your stomach, your feet, or the small of your back as the perfect mattress. You could move them. You probably should. Instead, you freeze, pull the smallest corner of the blanket toward yourself, and accept your new position, because apparently your dog signed a lease on your ribcage, and you're just the landlord now. Warmth doesn't explain this. Inches away, there's an entire empty half of the mattress. So I choose a breathing, shifting, unstable human body over that. The easiest explanation is warmth. Your dog feels cold, your body gives off heat, mystery solved. And on a genuinely cold night, body heat does matter. But if warmth were the whole story, your dog had other options tonight. A blanket, a rug, a couch, a sunny patch of floor, a dog bed that probably cost more than your own pillow. Most dogs walk past every one of those and press their full weight against you anyway. That difference matters. They're not choosing warmth. They're choosing your warmth. Your scent, your breathing. The rise and fall of your chest. The proof that you're still there. In Budapest, researchers at Eötvös-Loránd University adapted a test originally built for human infants, the Ainsworth Strange situation, to study how dogs respond when separated from, then reunited with their owner. Percent of the dogs tested showed secure attachment. Same rate found in securely attached human babies. These weren't dogs that simply liked their owner. Their entire sense of safety was organized around one specific person. Psychologists call that person a safe base, the individual. A dog's nervous system reaches for when the world feels uncertain. You've seen it during the day. Your dog checking where you are, watching your face, moving closer when something feels off. At night, that need gets stronger, because sleep is the most vulnerable state an animal enters. A sleeping dog can't track sound, movement, or threat, so their body borrows your alertness instead. The rhythm of your breathing, the smell of your skin, the small proof that you haven't disappeared. That's what lets their nervous system stand down. When your dog sleeps directly on you, they haven't invaded your space. They found the one place their body is finally allowed to stop watching. This isn't only in their head, it's in their blood chemistry. In 2015, Azabu University researchers found that when a dog and owner make eye contact, both experience a spike in oxytocin, the bonding hormone. Not just the dog. Both of you at the same time. Her mutual gaze loop. Here's the strange part. They tested wolves raised by humans, genetically almost identical to dogs. The loop didn't activate, not once. This isn't a leftover instinct from a shared ancestor. It evolved specifically between dogs and humans, over thousands of years side by side. That's why the weight of your dog against your legs can lower your cortisol too. You're not just calming them, you're regulating each other. This bond is old, older than your bedroom, older than beds, older than most of what we'd call civilization. In 2011, archaeologists excavating a 14,000-year-old burial site in Germany found something that stopped the field cold. Buried together, two humans and beside them two dogs. Not there by accident, buried with them deliberately as family. One of the dogs had suffered from canine distemper, a disease that causes seizures and paralysis. Recovering from it takes weeks of hand-feeding and constant care, with no guarantee it works. Someone nursed that dog for 5 weeks or more. And when that person died, the dog was buried beside them. 14,000 years ago, someone chose to lie down next to a sick, dying dog and take care of it anyway. Long before we had beds, before we had houses, this is what we were already doing. Comfort, size, temperature, and personality all shape it, but the spot they pick still tells you something. Chest, drawn to what's loudest there. Your heartbeat, your breath, your face. Smaller dogs especially treat it like a warm enclosed den, stomach or hips. A broad, stable surface keeps them anchored to you while still letting them see the room. Also, statistically, the least comfortable option for you. They don't care. Legs contact without confinement. Close enough to feel you, loose enough to bolt if something changes. Feet, the most underrated one. They're staying connected to you while parking themselves closest to the door, the floor, the exit. Loyal enough to stay in contact, alert enough to be first responder if something's wrong. But the position alone is never the whole story. Loose muscles or tense ones, slow breathing or fast, easy to move or flinching at touch. The real read is the whole body, not just the spot. This explains something rescue owners live through and rarely have language for. A newly adopted rescue dog often won't do any of this at first. They might sleep away from you, stay tense even next to you for weeks. That's not rejection. Many rescue dogs start out anxiously or avoidantly attached. Their nervous system hasn't learned yet that a person can be safe to depend on. So when a rescue dog who once slept alone in a corner finally, months later, climbs onto the bed and presses against you, that's not small. That's an attachment style rebuilding itself in real time. One of the clearest signs of trust you'll ever get from an animal that had good reason not to give it easily. Here's the honest answer. For most people, there's no evidence this is bad for you or your dog. If your dog shows the loose muscle, steady breathing signs of secure attachment, and you're sleeping fine, no reason to change anything. A few exceptions worth a second thought. Allergies, since closeness compounds exposure. Mid-training with a young puppy, since unrestricted bed access before boundaries are solid, can slow that down. And if it's a real source of conflict with a partner, solve that directly, instead of letting the dog absorb the tension. Outside those cases, this isn't a bad habit you accidentally created. It's a relationship doing what it's built to do. But closeness doesn't always mean the same thing. And the tell isn't whether they touch you. It's whether they can stop. A securely attached dog can sleep against you and also sleep without you. Soft muscles, steady breathing. No panic if you get up. An anxious dog can't rest without contact. They wake repeatedly to check you're still there, follow you room to room, stay tense even while touching you. Closeness itself isn't the problem. A dog who can't feel safe anywhere else is. And sometimes the clue isn't where your dog sleeps. It's when a long-standing pattern suddenly changes. A dog that always slept on the bed starts choosing the floor. A dog that welcomed contact starts avoiding touch. Pacing, repositioning constantly, no longer jumping onto the mattress. Flinching when a specific spot is touched. Worth watching for joint pain, especially in older dogs, often shows up in sleep before it shows up in a limp. Canine cognitive dysfunction, the dog equivalent of dementia, affects roughly 35% of dogs over age 8, and disrupted sleep is one of its earliest signs. Dogs can't tell you something hurts. Sleep is one of the clearest ways they say it anyway. Watch for a pattern, not one bad night. A vet visit costs a lot less than a missed diagnosis. So go back to 2:13 a.m. You're pressed into a narrow corner of your own bed. Your dog is sprawled across you, completely unaware, or completely aware and just doesn't care, of the space they've taken. Warmth is part of it. It was never the whole story. Your dog chose your heartbeat, your scent, your breathing, the steady proof that the safest thing in their world hasn't gone anywhere. The bed gave them softness. The blanket gave them warmth. You gave them the one thing neither could, safety. If this made you look over at your dog differently, hit subscribe. I'm breaking down the science of the bond you didn't know you had, one video at a time. Tell me in the comments where your dog sleeps and which part of you they always claim. Next time, why dogs change position throughout the night and what each shift actually means.